Hey, I'm the Urban Seer, and welcome to the Messages from Your Spirit Guide Pick a Card reading. So in this reading, we'll connect with your spirit guides to uncover the messages and wisdom they have for you. Before we begin, take a deep breath and quiet your mind. Focus on your intention and open your heart to the guidance that's meant for you. In front of you are 3 oracle cards, each with their own individual energy. Let your intuition guide you to the card that resonates most with your energy. So, group number 1, we have the Oracle card, the Self. Group number 2, we have the Hunter. And group number 3, we have the Empty Room. So once you've made your choice, we'll uncover the messages your spirit has for you, and you'll find your link to your reading in the description box below. Let's begin. Hey group number 1, so you chose the Oracle card, this beautiful card, the Self, these wonderful colours and rainbows here. So I'm going to put that to one side for now and pull your tarot cards and see what comes through from your spirit guides today. Okay, gorgeous, lots of pinks, lots of bright colours that I'm seeing that have come through. Let's similarly sort of match this beautiful rainbow that we started off with. Let's begin with the first placement of who is speaking. So the energy of the type of spirit guide that is delivering this message for you, group number 1. And we have the Page of Materials. And then look at all this beautiful growth that we have here. And I feel like that this is your energy and this is your spirit guide's energy here. And you are connecting, okay? You are very connected. You may sense their presence already and be receiving messages from them. So if you have sensed that and maybe wondered if that the messages that you were hearing was from a spirit guide, you're correct for that, because this represents the mind to me, this connection, this rose head. It's our mind, it's our head, so it's messages in your mind and in your thoughts that you very may well already be receiving or open up to that. And the Page of Materials energy is all about growth and steady growth, so about being consistent, about being patient. And this spirit guide for you wants to encourage you to embody this energy. That's the energy that they possess. You can see how, like the rose, that they have a strong belief in organic growth and not rushing the process. And they tell me that the most beautiful things come from being patient, giving your dreams and your goals patience, space and time to breathe. And it's really all about focusing on the nurturing aspect as well. So like with flowers, we need to feed them, they need water, they need nurturing. And maybe you need some nurturing as well. You could have been putting a lot of pressure on yourself and not looking after your own needs, pushing them aside in order to reach your goal. And what's needed here is more of a nurturing approach instead of such brutality or harshness, which I feel like you have been leading with in order to reach your goal. You've forgotten about yourself and your needs in the process. And this spirit guide keeps telling me that the most beautiful things come from nurturing, patience, consistency. So what a lovely energy to start with. We then move on to the core message that this spirit guide brings for you. So the central guidance and wisdom that your spirit guide wants to share. And this is a major arcana, the Hanged Muse, and it tells me that you're in the process of gaining a different perspective. So the Hanged Muse is again a card of really inaction, not pushing forward anymore, or working harder, or trying to change the situation, spinning in circles. You need to surrender that. You need to surrender to your situation, really. And it may be uncomfortable, yeah, because we see this person, the Hanged Muse, is always, they're upside down. It's not easy, okay? And the spirit guide acknowledges that the situation that you're in isn't easy. They're not trying to say that it is in any way. They're watching you. They want to reach you. They want to tell you things are better than maybe they first appear. There's so much yellow here, which is like brightness, happiness, energy. There is more good in this situation than maybe what you're able to see. And their message is, the Hanged Muse, that what's happening now for you in this situation is that you're gaining an important new perspective. You're gaining knowledge, you're gaining wisdom. This connected to the spiritual, the third eye. This speaks to me here with this eye at the center of this pyramid. That's not only your spirit guide watching you, but that's always your third eye opening. And look where it leads. You are going to transform and transition into a new gateway, a whole new way of looking at things. And it's a major arcana as well, yeah, which talks about the weight of this message. But that's their message. What's happening now, if you're confused about why you're stuck where you are, it's because you're gaining a new perspective. We then move on to what you need to focus on, an area in your life where your energy and attention are most needed right now. Six of Materials, balance, reciprocity, giving, not too much, not too little. Being open to receive of what you get back. But I feel like the main message is only giving what you feel comfortable with. Again, it's not about, the message with this is about not pushing ourselves, about being kind to ourselves. This echoing of these roses here, of this growth that we've seen before, is that you will see the most results from striking this balance of just enough effort. So this work-life balance, or if it's a relationship, if this is someone, you'll get the most by not giving too much, being open to receive, having an open heart. It's really kind of quite a fine art in striking this balance. So it may sound simple, it may sound easy, you know, just give what you are happy with, only give what is needed. But it's actually doing that and the practicality of that. And maybe if you're being pulled or asked to do more by someone, resisting that is also hard. So this is what you need to focus on, balance. So you'll know when you ask yourself, so this situation, how and where am I giving too much? And those moments when you, again, pressuring yourself, I'm not doing this right, I'm not doing that right. There's feels like a lot of self-criticism here, which is a waste of energy. And treading lightly and just giving what you feel comfortable with is where actually you'll begin to see movement and begin to see the best results that you hope for. It will bring you closer to the outcome that you want. We then move on to what you're overlooking. So something important you may not have noticed or acknowledged. We have the Ace of Materials, and this is the progress that you have made. You've actually began a new journey. Maybe you don't see that you're actually on a whole new journey, a new path which you've created, and you've undertaken this journey, and that's no small thing. The Ace of Materials is about fresh starts, about new beginnings. It's about being on the road to financial success as well. But you've started something very real, very genuine. So if it's a relationship, if it's a new career, whatever is this new beginning, okay, that it's already began, it's already started. And maybe you don't quite realise that this is the real deal. This is genuine. You might be dismissive of it in some way. For some of you as well, it's about not realizing how far you've already come. Look at all this growth that's already happened. You've really started on building the foundation of something that I feel like will last a lifetime. So this new journey, this new path has longevity, it has consistency, it has the right energy to go the distance. So maybe you haven't quite realized that you know, it's happening now. You've already planted the seeds, you've already actually started to have reap the benefits of the seeds that you've planted. The flowers have already begun to blossom. I think you might question this and doubt this. If I keep hearing if it's the real deal, if it's the real thing, it is. Let's have a look at next about what's blocking you. A fear, challenge, a limiting belief that's holding you back. We have the Two of Emotions. For some of you, if this is a love connection, it could be about the depth of this connection. Two of Emotions talks about soulmate energy. So a fear, a challenge, a limiting belief is again not quite grappling with the fact that this is soulmate energy, that this is a deep connection. Or for those of you, if it's a new, you know, something career based or something connected to this new path, again more of the same. I'm not really understanding the depth of this. Maybe as well what it brings up in you, and that you having to kind of go, it's asking quite a lot of you actually, this situation as well. So even though it feels very positive and it feels very good, this new road, it is asking you to dig deep emotionally and go to places within yourself that maybe you haven't dared to go before. The fear that comes with a real connection and a soulmate connection is no joke, yeah? Starting a new business, for example, of your own and setting out on that journey is no joke. It will push you to emotional places and ask of you to really dig deep. And this can be quite taxing, this can feel risky. It feels risky, yeah? So this is something that's blocking you. Maybe again, it's about underestimating the risk that you're actually taking and sort of committing full force to that risk and jumping both feet in. And not just dismissing it as something that doesn't have this depth of emotional pull for you. I'm going to ask one more card because I'm interested about to hear more of this Two of Emotions. Spirit, tell me more about this Two of Emotions and this block, this fear. Oh, Muse of Emotions. So yeah, just clarifying really here, when we have the Muse of Emotions, the Muse of Emotions is an expert at feeling things deeply without being overwhelmed, which is exactly what we touched on with this card. So don't try to not feel. Don't try to shut those emotions down. That's not, obviously I would never advise that. But with this situation that is bringing up big feelings, it's about processing them, not pushing them away, but learning instead how to, you see how this person is drinking these emotions in a way, taking in these feelings, learning how to float, take it easy in some ways instead of being sunk. Will get sunk is what I'm hearing if you just get hit by these feelings but don't learn how to process them. We then move on to, so what's supporting you? A strength, a resource or energy that's working in your favour. And this is that you are on the path to emotional fulfillment, group number 1. That's what the 10 of Emotions is all about. Look at this beautiful colours. I'm always taken aback by these colours when I see this card, the pinks, the oranges, the vibrant blue. It's all there. This is a blossoming. This is much like these flowers that we've seen dotted throughout your reading, but it has that kind of spiritual element to it as well, this. So this is no joke, this journey that you're on. And what's supporting you is that you're on the road to emotional fulfillment. I feel like that you're making connections, or you will do on this path, to people who will emotionally support you. Something that maybe has been lacking, a connection really with people, be this one-to-one or be this on a kind of group level, a group setting. So this job could lead you to actually connecting with people who fulfill you on a deeper level. It's not just a paycheck. If it's a relationship, you're on the way to emotional fulfillment, could branch out into expanding your family, for instance, for some of you as well. So this is what's working in your favour. This emotional fulfillment. This is what this journey offers you. I feel like there's people around you already even who can offer this to you. Try to tap into that resource as well, about remaining, having your heart open, being open to receiving. If you're naturally a giving, nurturing person, don't be afraid to lean on people for emotional fulfillment. And then we end the reading on the last placement, which is advice moving forward. So final guidance from your spirit guide on next steps. And we end on a powerful card, the Muse of Voices. So this is akin in the traditional deck to the King of Voices, the King of Swords, sorry. And I feel like ahead of you, there are going to be some decisions that are going to be needed to make. Some tough decisions, and you're going to have to embody this Muse of Voices energy, which is about being very clear about what you want and really cutting off the people, places and things, which sounds harsh, cutting off, but the Muse of Voices does bring quite a ruthless energy with it, okay? About cutting off people, places, things that no longer serve you and that drain you. And this is part of this process. This is part of this journey. I don't feel like that this energy is particularly started yet for you. It feels more like future energies once you're further down this path of this Ace of Materials. It's part of the lesson that lies ahead for you, group number 1. This is you. You are on this path, you are on a road, and you are entering a new chapter, a different dimension. Once you make that transition, you know that we see here, you won't be in this hanged muse energy forever. That's where you find yourself now. The movement will come. There is promise that the movement will come, and you will make this transcendent shift into and emerge in a completely different place, I feel like, than where you are now. And this will be you on the other side. And then what comes is this Muse of Voices energy. There may be some tough decisions to make, but it's really about being committed to your truth, your path, and no longer being held back by people that really are a drain on you and no longer align with you. So that's what the future holds, which is a forewarning almost from your spirit guide. This is where you're leading to. It's an empowering energy. Don't be scared of it. Lean into it when it comes. So group number 1, that was your reading. I hope it resonated for you. Please do give me a thumbs up if it did. Leave any comments down below. Please consider subscribing if you did enjoy this reading so that you'd be notified for all future readings. I also go live Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. If you'd like to join the tarot community there, it would be lovely to have you. Just bring your questions and receive a personalised free reading. But wishing you all the best with your path, your journey, group number 1. Love and light. Hey group number 2, and welcome to your reading. And you chose the oracle card, the Hunter, which possesses a really exciting and dynamic energy. I'm going to put that to one side for now whilst I pull your tarot cards and see what messages come through from your spirit guides. Some beautiful cards, some major arcanas, some big energies, group number 2. So let's start off with the first card, and this is the major arcana, the Magician. So we've got 1, 2, 3 major arcanas in this spread, which tells me powerful energies, potential for powerful transformations surrounding you at the moment, group number 2. And this, the Magician placement, is who is speaking, so who's come through, the energy of your spirit guide delivering this message. And the Magician aligns very closely to the power of manifestation. It talks about self-belief. And look at this powerful energy here that I feel like you're tapping into. This universal energy, this particular spirit guide who I feel like has a very powerful energy. They surround you in protection. They also want to bring you positivity and feel that when you get down and go into self-doubt, that they want to reach you. Because the Magician card is all about bringing our desires. I feel like there's a very specific desire that you're holding at the moment. can be in any area of your life, okay? But you'll know that there's a particular goal that you really want to manifest. And this spirit guide knows that, feels that, is supporting that journey, particularly on this goal. It tells you you have all the tools laid out before you. We've got all the elements here: fire, water, earth, air, which represents your skills, your tools. Like if it's a relationship, I feel like you've done the inner work. And I feel like this spirit guide is saying, lean on me more. Ask me for help. Let me do some of this work. You're drawing on this, but you're also, I feel like, kind of blocking the energy a bit, and the free flowing energy of this spirit guide, who's kind of a bit like, just get out your own way and let me handle this, okay? You're kind of interfering yourself. So it has a loving energy, but it's also slightly maybe a little bit of irritation here because you're blocking this manifestation coming through. It's almost like it could be done by now. That's what this spirit guide is saying. So it's quite a feisty spirit guide. And it wants to take over, and it wants to get the job done for you. So says, put your feet up, take a rest, get out of the way, get out of my way. I can make this happen. So what an interesting energy to start off with. What a powerful energy. You need to step aside and let this spirit guide bring this manifestation into fruition for you. So get out the way, group number 2. It's the first message in the most loving way. The core message, so this is the central guidance or wisdom from your spirit guide that they want to share. 8 of inspiration. Look how this mirrors the hunter energy. It's almost an exact replica. This forward motion, this energetic pull. If you can, so the core message says, if you can get out the way and let me take it over, this manifestation is already done. This 8 of inspiration, this hunter energy is focused. It is fast moving. You will get steamrolled over in its path if you dare to step in its path. Anything that dares to step in its path will be mowed over. Okay, 8 of inspiration is fire energy, it's action, it's like I've said, fast moving, rushing in. So it's like it's getting blocked by interference and self-doubt, or by whatever it is that's holding you back. More often than not, for us humans, for us earthbound people, it can be self-doubt. Okay. So the core message that it brings is that this job is already done. This fast moving energy just wants to come through. So work on that. Even if you set some time aside, if you're not quite sure how to do this, set some time aside, 10-15 minutes a day, to surrender to this, to be open to allowing this spirit guide to take over, allowing this energy to come through, and sort of surrendering it and handing it over. Group number 2, 10-15 minutes a day. If you're not sure where else to start there. That's a message for us all, actually. With anything that we desire, that's always a good approach. Moving on though, so what do you need to focus on? An area in your life where your energy and attention are most needed. We have the page of materials, which talks about having patience. So this could be part of your block. It's an irony, isn't it, that it's saying it will come in fast, but your impatience is part of the block. So trusting the process allowing to, say if you're in a love connection, take your time to enjoy the different stages of this connection, the beginning of this connection, nurture it, enjoy it, you know, taste, taste the experience, smell the flowers. If it's a job, you know, something more career focused, ambitious, and you're learning new skills, try to give in to enjoying that process rather than just trying to jump from A to G. You know, try to enjoy B, C, D, E, F in between. So stop and smell the roses is what you need to focus on. Surrendering again to sort of almost taking you out of the situation. Keep turning up, keep showing up, but kind of bring less effort. Just be consistent in turning up, and then hand the rest over. Because what you're overlooking is the next card, and this is something important you may not have noticed or acknowledged. And this is, interestingly, a major arcana, the Sun, which is the happiest card in the deck. So what haven't you acknowledged? You haven't acknowledged some kind of joy and happiness, is what this tells me. Maybe the good in the situation that you find yourself in now. You're kind of nearer to this manifestation, I feel like, than you may realise. Again, enjoying the journey. It's almost like it's happening now, like what you want, what you desire. The wheels are already in motion. So somehow, I'm going to pull one more card. You're missing out on the joy and the happiness. You're overlooking this, the joy and the happiness of the situation that you're already in, maybe. We have another major arcana, the Lovers. So for those of you in a connection, the connection's already there, okay? So if you're at the start of a connection, don't try to push it. Don't try to move it faster than it already needs to be. For those of you who are manifesting someone but they're not in the 3D yet, you energetically are in the same picture together. So that's something to lean into, to try and even just enjoy that about the situation. That there's even something, maybe this distance between you is needed at the moment for reasons that are not yet clear. So that's a positive thing. It's almost like turning whatever's going on. If you have a gap between your manifestation being realized and you're in that space in between, there's something positive and good about that space in between. So find the joy and the happiness and the meaning in that, or create one. Even if you're not sure what it is, create one and find the joy and the happiness in the gap in between. We then move on to what could be blocking you. So a fear, a challenge, or a limiting belief that's holding you back. And we have the Muse of Materials. This, I feel like, is because materials is about work and effort. I think it's about you feeling that you need to do more, which is a fear, and it's a limiting belief that holds you back. Maybe this is something, maybe you're a workaholic for some of you. Maybe this is like a default that, I mean, a lot of us do have it. If you're in that gap in between, you automatically think that you're doing something wrong and that you should be doing more. And this is always more effort, more action, more hard work. And we need to lean into, particularly when manifesting, taking the pressure off, leaning back, taking the gas off, taking your foot off the gas and doing less. So whenever you get that impulse to do more, to work harder, take a deep breath. This is hard, I know, but take a step back. If it's in a connection, again, it's the same applies. You feel like you have to give more, do more, plan more, do less. Let the river take you. Okay, so this is a limiting belief that needs to be released. The next placement is what's supporting you. So a strength, a resource, energy that's working in your favour. Queen of Inspiration. This is about inspired action. So instead of just action all the time, the Queen of Inspiration is a master at acting on informations or feelings, more gut-led feelings, I would say, with the Queen of Inspiration, of what inspires her. So it's about following those leads, sparks of desire, sparks of intuition. That's what you need to tune into and tap into. You have access to it because this is what's supporting you. This is a strength and a resource within you. So again, lean into that more, lean away from hard work and lean into inspired action. So the action that you do comes from a place of joy, happiness, comes from a place of feeling fired up, like you really want to do it, rather than feeling like that you have to do it. So this is a time period for you, group number 2, where you need to surrender that shoulds. Sometimes, it is time for us to knuckle down and just, it kind of gets dry and we just need to show up and be consistent and dig deep. This is more about a time to follow our passions and desires and fly a bit more loose and free and easy. It's all about learning to trust the process more. So yeah, this card brings a message about inspired action. And then we end with a major arcana about advice moving forward, final guidance from your spirit guide on your next steps. And we have the Death card, and this is major arcana, so big energy. This card is a card of transformation. So when we see the Death card, it's really an ending of who we were, of who we once were, and transforming and emerging as someone different. So that's where you're heading. This is what the future holds. This is what this is all about. You will get to the other side of this. You will transform. You will break free from what you perceive to be as restrictions, perceived to be as this cocoon that's been encasing you. We're obviously trying to move away from seeing that the space in between as something negative, but you are in the process of a deep transformation. And by the end of this journey, when you make the transition into, once this arrives, once this hunter energy comes and the movement bursts through, the forward movement bursts through, you burst out of the chrysalis. I feel like it's going to happen quickly when it does finally break. You will find yourself a different person on the other side, in maybe a different life for some of you. You look about you and your circumstances have changed. You look inside into your inner world and that too has changed. So that was your reading, group number 2. Powerful reading, big energies. I hope it resonated with you. If it did, please do give me a thumbs up and leave any comments in the section down below. Consider subscribing so you'll be notified for all future uploads. And also join me on a live if you'd like a free personal reading. I go live Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays. So be sure to join our tarot community over there. But wishing you all the best on your journey and on your life path, group number 2. Love and light. Hey group number 3, and welcome to your reading. You chose the oracle card, the Empty Room. So I'm just going to put that aside for one moment and pull your tarot cards and see what messages come through from your spirit guides. Okay, interesting energies that have come through group number 3. Let's start off with your first tarot card, and this is in the placement of who is speaking, so the energy and the type of spirit guide who's delivering this message for you. And we have the High Priestess, and this is very clearly come through if this is them. The High Priestess is a master of the unconscious and the unknown. This is her world. This is where she operates from. She's able to very powerfully see through an illusion of what you're being presented with. So when we see the 3D, the surface level of what's been presented to us, the High Priestess sees beyond this, sees the deeper level, what's going on in our subconscious, and the truth of the matter, really the heart of the matter. She has so much depth to her, and this is who's come through for you today. And I feel like she's asking you to embody this energy in you, to lean into the esoteric, to lean into the unknown, to lean into spiritual messages, psychic messages, and your subconscious. Okay, this is where you're going to find the answers that you're seeking. The spirit guide has come through to help you do this, to lead the way, and she asks you to look away from the well-worn path and to go into the unknown, to tread a new path, and to trust your gut, to trust your intuition, and to go into the darkness in some ways. So let's see what other messages come through so we can get the fuller picture of messages. So we move on to the second placement, which is the Page of Materials, and the placement is the core message from your guide. So the wisdom that your spirit guide wants to share. And we have the Page of Materials. And what I'm hearing is a meeting of minds. It has occurred or is about to occur. This connection to something or somebody offers a huge amount of potential, financial potential, growth in the material world, as in being able to connect with someone on a deep level who can help you bloom and flourish. So say if it was a love relationship, this is a connection that could lead to a very long-term stable connection that could involve moving in together, you know, really sharing your lives, really merging your lives. And this you'll blossom in a way that you haven't blossomed before. If it's a career, a passion project, a different direction, if that's what you feel like's going on, that you've already connected to, or you're in the process of connecting, this is a journey that is going to potentially last a lifetime. Okay, I'm going to pull one more card of this as well because I'm interested, so I just want to dig a little deeper, find out a little bit more. This core message, the Page of Materials. I feel like it's something that you can finally trust in. Somebody or something that you can finally trust in and lay roots down. You can begin to really make progress and growth as a person, which maybe you felt like you've only been able to take so far in the past, and then you've encountered a setback. The relationship broke down, the job broke down, you became dissatisfied and unhappy with where you were, so you had to move and start again. And this feels like something that you can really lay roots down in. Tell me more about this Page of Materials, please. Ten of Inspiration, being able to lay down burdens finally. Yeah. So it's like these setbacks that I feel like that you've had in the past. And the Page of Materials is about connected to progress. It can sometimes be slow progress, but the progress that the Page of Materials does make is long lasting, is real, is genuine. So it's the opposite of that kind of in out energy. It's stable, it's consistent. And what this core message, so being able to follow this kind of energy and put down roots, and have this long-lasting connection, will allow you to put down a burden that's been with you for some time. And I feel like that's a succession really of false starts that you've experienced, group number 3, with the 10 of Inspiration. This long line of efforts that you have learnt from them, and they're not in any way to be discounted or not valued. Those experiences, there's been so much growth from them, but that hasn't led to really where you've wanted to be, and something that you can really get your teeth into, lay down roots and kind of say, this is it, this is where I need to be, and this is where I'm going to stay. So that's interesting. Let's move on to the next placement, which is what you need to focus on. So an area in your life where your energy and attention are most needed right now. 8 of Inspiration, forward motion, fast moving energies, being determined, being focused. So being one-pointed, I feel like, is the message here. So you need to tune out distractions and not be pulled off this path. There may be people or things within yourself where it's difficult to not be pulled away, feeling obligated maybe to fulfill other people's, to give energy to other situation or other people, for an example. And this is about just being extremely, this is a message that I'm getting, extremely one-pointed. Nothing else is really going on. There's almost a blackout. There's an eclipse going on here. Blackout, as you are so determined, so focused. And this is what will bring the forward motion, the progress that you do want. And it's about, yeah, just saying no to people, places, things that are distractions from this, and just being utterly one-pointed. Even selfish. If it's not selfish really, people might call it that. You might call it that. Be selfish if you need to be. Just be incredibly one-pointed and be completely undeterred about any obstacles in your way. Just charge past them. Don't buy into them. Don't believe them. But don't try to spread your energy too thin, as in trying to juggle it. Don't try to do it all in this period, group number 3. Just stick to the one goal of where you're heading. So the next placement is what you're overlooking. So something important that you may not have noticed or acknowledged is what's going on. 6 of Materials. This is about balance. This is about reciprocity. Can be about giving too much when we see this card. So like how we've just come up off the back of this card, which was about saying no to distractions, and this is about being realistic with the 6 of Materials, I believe, about what you can give, what you can offer in order to remain joyful and positive in this journey to achieving wherever you want to go in life at the moment, and blossom and still have joy on the path. There needs to be some realistic boundaries set in place about what you are giving to the situation. Be open to receiving help as well. Because what I'm drawn to as well, I just want to bring in this oracle card at this time with the empty room. This is an empty room that asks, what are you going to fill it with? Okay, there are dreams and there are hopes and desires here that are kind of floating around. But there's this space at the moment the unconscious space, the void, that darkness that we talked about. And it's waiting to be filled, and it will be filled with something. And I feel like I want you to be empowered and choose what this empty room is filled with. Make sure it's filled with something that you want and that serves you well. And getting focused and being very decisive about kind of what's allowed to go in the empty room and what's not. So kind of being the security of your own personal space in your own life. Maybe some things recently cleared out for some of you as well and created this space. A job loss, a relationships broke down. Something may have left your life that's created this empty room. And now it's about curating that room and allowing purely only what you want in there and being decisive about it, not just allowing, just being like, let's see what happens. This is about being decisive and the architect of your own life, okay? We then move on to what's blocking you. So a fear, a challenge, a limiting belief that can be holding you back. We have the Ace of Materials. Aces are all about new beginnings. It's about financial growth, success. Again, progress that is real and genuine. It can be that you will feel, so what's blocking you is that with it being an Ace of Materials, there's maybe some of you have a little bit of imposter syndrome that I'm picking up on. Feeling like, oh, I'm just at the beginning of this journey, and actually you're much further ahead than what you may think or feel. Because what I'm seeing is actually that you've been on really quite a journey, and there may be new starts on the way, new things to learn about yourself. But this doesn't feel like that you're a newbie in any way, group number 3 with this. I feel like that this is, you've put a lot of effort and work into already where you find yourself, and now it feels like more like fine-tuning with this 8 of Inspiration, getting truly focused now. 10 of Inspiration, opportunity to put down burdens. Tell me more about this Ace of Materials, Spirit. So I do feel, yeah, so you're in the process, yes, you're in the process of a huge transformation. You're in the process of becoming someone new. This is a death of our old self when we see this card. This is a death of an old life. Maybe this is part of this empty room. Okay, that's already feel like it's happened. So there is a new beginning of sorts. There's a new you that's emerging. But I feel like that you have so much knowledge and experience that you are bringing with you. So in some ways, it's a new beginning and a new road within. If we look at the bigger picture, though, that this is a well-worn path of that you've had many twists and turns in your life that have led you to this point. Okay, so try to throw off that imposter syndrome if that's hanging over you. This is a limiting belief, thinking that you haven't made any progress. Here you are with the empty room at square one again, and you're not. You are in a transformation. There is a new you emerging, but you don't just lose. You aren't at square one. That's what I want to say. That's what that message is. That's the limiting belief, is that you think that because of this new beginning that you're back to basics, and that's not true. You bring with you all the knowledge, all the experiences to build on. So what's supporting you? That's the next placement. A strength, a resource, and energy working in your favour. The Moon card aligning very powerfully with the High Priestess, as in that it brings a very similar energy of this is about trusting your unconscious, this period of your life, this journey. Things may not be set out clearly. You will not necessarily have a straight path ahead of you. There won't be clear signs about maybe what direction to go in, but the clear signs are still there, but they're just within. They're not outside. So don't look outside for signs and information and advice. Don't really look to other people even. All the answers and information that you seek are within, and it's just about going deeper and deeper into this kind of process and approach. The new you, this is part of your transformation. The new you is someone who lives maybe more in the subconscious, and that kind of world, and it has the ability to see through the illusion of the 3D. This is about surrendering to that energy more and more on a deeper level, throwing off the chains of our conditioned beliefs and what we're conditioned to see and understand. And when we see the 3D and think something's not working, but we really desire for it to work, but we think but we can't because of this, this and this. The High Priestess and the Moon card doesn't operate on this level, okay? They operate on a much deeper level. And you're moving further and further into this group number 3. Because where it's leading to is this final message, which is about the future and final guidance from your spirit guide on next steps. Because this is all leading you to victory and success. 6 of Inspiration is a card about reaching your goals. It's a card about realizing your ambitions, your desires, leveling up in some kind as well, feeling empowered. She looks kind of similar to this High Priestess. It's almost like this is the High Priestess in action. People look up to her as well. This is about getting some acknowledgement, interestingly, from the outside world. So through going within and listening to your inner voice, fine-tuning your desires and belief system, and shaking off old, conditioned, outdated ways of thinking and feeling. In turn, ironically, I think bring you success and acknowledgement in the real world, like in the real world, but in the physical world, in the 3D. It's somehow mirrored back to you that this is the time when you're raised on this pedestal almost by those around you and seen as someone who is almost untouchable. And whatever that success looks like to you, that's your journey. If it's a career, a spiritual leveling up, a relationship, or something about becoming more who you are, your own true nature, your own true self, by going within and trusting your own gut and tuning out others' voices, in turn that you will get acknowledgement from those from outside of you, and you become your most victorious and most successful. So what interesting energies, what an interesting journey, group number 3. I hope this reading resonated for you. If it did, please do give me a thumbs up. Leave any comments down below about your experience, your journey, how this reading resonated for you. Please consider subscribing so you'll be notified for any future uploads. And also join me live if you'd like a free personalized reading there. Join me Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays. We've got a lovely tarot community over there. It would be great to have you. But wishing you all the best on your journey, on your life path, group number 3. Love and light.